I wanted to get on live just to kind of check in on you guys, see how everybody's doing. Quería saber cómo están ustedes, cómo va todo. Espero que todos están en casa. I wanted to, I guess, start off by saying that I am thinking and praying for all of the families and all of the individuals affected by, well, our current state of nation, but also the whole world. The whole world right now is just vibrating with such an energy, and I definitely can feel it. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, pero yeah, it's real. So yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm thinking about you guys and I'm praying for everybody. I also wanted to say that I think it's a very, very important time to dig really, really deep and ground ourselves. Enough to remember that, I've always said this, juntos somos más. Together we are so much more. So I really hope that everybody can take this time to really just dig deep and, yeah, connect to something greater, whatever it is, to really find the strength within you, to be strong for yourself, for your families. I think it's times like this that are so trying, that are so quick to try to divide the people, to divide us. And I think we're so much better than that. So I think that now is that time, definitely. I also pray for peace of mind for all of the people that may feel panicked or any kind of triggers of anxiety. I myself have felt extremely overwhelmed and triggered by all of this. So please know that you are not alone. One of the things for me lately is just thinking about, how do I protect myself? How do I protect my family? And then, I have business that I want to continue, but is that really the best decision to make? And so all of those things, all those thoughts right now are just like this big cloud that have been hovering over me in the last couple weeks, to be honest, before things even got to the, I guess level that things have gotten to now. So just know that, yeah, you're not alone, and I've definitely been feeling the same way. So just know that you have support. And yeah, all my friends, all of my family members, I've been checking in on them. Make sure you do your part in checking in and making sure that, even if it's just like voicing these thoughts, these emotions, these feelings, it's very helpful. I always talk about mind, body, and soul. We do so much for our body. We do so much for our minds. But what about our soul? Now is the time to take advantage, guys. Take advantage to really just become one with yourself. Ways to take care of the body is working out at home. Ways to take care of the mind is to read a book. But to take care of the soul, we got to dig a little bit deeper, and we always forget that. So if you have the time, which I'm sure most of you guys do, please just dig deep. Please do it for yourself. You'll thank yourself in the long run, because it's important. I also want to say that I am definitely praying for the ones who are not taking this seriously to wake up. Wake up and start doing their part. Because for me, I feel like, yes, it's all over social media, it's all over the news, it's everywhere, and it's just so easy to just be like, it's gonna go away, it's gonna go away, it's gonna go away. That's not the case. There is enough proof that if we don't make drastic change in the next days to come, it will definitely be too late. Like, there's so much proof now. And it's not to scare anybody, to scare you out of your wits, to scare you into your wits, to make you be smarter. Because we're past the point of washing our hands being the solution. We're past that point. That's not the only thing that we should be doing. We should have always have been doing that. But we're past that point now. And I think that many who work in the medical field have definitely voiced that there is simply not enough to supply the help and care that is going to be needed if the people don't start doing their part. And I feel like it's just the time to listen. It's the time to take this seriously. And especially for the ones that we're expecting to rely on to save lives, like if they're the ones already waving the red flag and begging us to do our part, I think that's all we should really take in consideration, because they're the ones that ultimately are on the front lines. And if they're saying, hey, we're under-equipped, and we just simply don't have enough for the demand that's going to be around, I just think that we should really take that into consideration. So, I hope people just, start taking it seriously. And, I'm happy that some of the people who are home are able to enjoy themselves, que pueden disfrutar estar en casa con su familia, escuchar música y todo eso, pero también no es el tiempo para estar, I don't know, like joking about this kind of stuff either. Something about that just doesn't sit well with me, because this is affecting so many people, not just people that are sick. I mean, this is affecting people on a global scale. I know here in America, I mean, so many people are worried about losing their jobs, and getting laid off, and the effects of this are drastic. So, just please take it seriously. I know many countries have tried to warn us. Other countries are making so many efforts not to make our same mistake. So I just really hope that we can find it in us to be better than this. I know myself and the rest of my family have done everything to minimize our time out to basically almost nothing. Because we are aware that without those efforts, the numbers will continue to rise. And we are, like I said, past the point of just washing your hands is the solution and we'll all be fine. I don't think people are really ready for the numbers that are going to be presented in the weeks to come because of the delayed effects of this virus. I understand that there are, and this has been something that a lot of people have been talking about, a lot of individuals who will get the virus and have close to no symptoms. But I think it's important to think about the bigger picture and the life-threatening effects that one individual can spread to the ones who are at risk with underlying health conditions. And those are the people we should be thinking about, because esas personas son mis abuelitos, son papás, son familias que literalmente no deberíamos estar jugando con eso, ¿me entiendes? Like, it's not something to play with. And so, I think just understanding that, if you can, stay home. If you do have that ability to work from home, I extremely, extremely support that. I think that, it's important to educate ourselves too. That's something that I've spent the last couple of days on. My free time, because there's been a lot of it. I've been, like I said, just thinking a lot, just very, very angst with a lot of different emotions and different thoughts. And part of educating myself was reaching out to my Global Citizens family to work together on how we could kind of bring more awareness to the needed change that we do need. And I know there's like so many things on the internet. That's where I think a lot of people get lost, or they get very overwhelmed. So then it's just easier to just look at memes. But I think that some of their goals and I guess where they want people to channel their energy, they've made it pretty digestible in a way that people can understand it. I have some info here. Basically, they want to ensure that the World Health Organization has the funds that they need to respond to COVID-19 through April. They're specifically calling onto the G20 to invest into the WHO to basically address all of the COVID-19 and be prepared for future health crises. I think it's super important that we read up on this, that we do our research. If you don't know what the G20 is, it's an international forum of governments, for the governments and central bank governors for, I think it's 19 countries and the European Union. So I'm going to share the link right now for you guys so you guys know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. But yeah, and also we should start mobilizing corporations and individuals to fund the COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. And that is a fund that will help deploy all of the resources needed to tackle this pandemic. It supports the community health workers who are on the front line. So yeah, definitely something to look into for all of the information regarding what these missions are, what we should be channeling our energy to. I know it is on, one moment, let me find it. Okay, globalcitizen.org, I can't talk. globalcitizen.org/coronavirus. So while you have the time, which if you do, I'm pretty sure you do, make sure you check it out. I know for me, being a global citizen myself and collaborating with them on many, many different things has been really eye-opening, and they've been really great at breaking these things down in ways that are easy to understand and that I think people won't get lost in. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's a lot of things on the internet, so it's really, really hard to keep up. So yeah, and they are very, very passionate about their community of global citizens on a global scale. So getting the right information in times like these is obviously very important, and they do very, very well at that. So I highly recommend going to globalcitizen.org/coronavirus. Check it out. Yes, I know, lots of information. I know. It's so much. Also, let's see, what else I wanted to talk about. So I have been reading, like I said, a lot on, like, you know, newsletters and like different things like that. And there's actually a writer that me and Sebastian are a really big fan of. His name's Mark Manson, and I just like his style of writing and the things that he chooses to talk about sometimes. It's very just like raw and real. And on March 10th, he shared a weekly newsletter about the coronavirus. And a part of it really, really stood out to me. And he said, let me see if I can find it. Sorry, guys. He said, "It's interesting to see different cultures taking different approaches to this conundrum. Some countries are clearly more willing to give up economic stability for the sake of public health. Other countries are willing to risk a health crisis for the sake of short-term economic stability." Whoa. That part really, really stuck with me. And I couldn't help but think, like, why? Like, why did this really, really stick? And I came to the conclusion that it's probably because I genuinely, probably like many others, worry that there is a possibility that America could be the type of country to choose to prioritize its economy, like, over its own people. And I really hope that's not the case. Like, I pray every day that we will be able to overcome this and that the people will be thought of in every step along the way during this time. But I think that's part of that cloud that I was talking about earlier that I guess like hovers over my head with this anxiety, because I don't just think of, you know, myself or like my parents or my siblings. I think of all of my extended family members, all of like my closest friends, and, you know, even people who I work with who are self-employed, who work in, you know, different industries that they have to leave their homes in order to take care of home, to take care of the bills and things like that. And so, yeah, I guess that part of his newsletter really stuck to me, because you do see the difference in cultures and how different, you know, countries are approaching this and how they make their people feel. So, yeah, like I said, I really hope that's not the case, but I feel like during times like these, like, I couldn't help but worry about that. So, yeah, I feel like that thought for the people, it's like a really haunting feeling, especially when you don't know, like, we don't truly know how long this could take to get under control. And I feel like those families, those individuals, like, shouldn't feel left behind and like this is only working against them. I think it's hard for some because not everybody has the privilege to work from home. not everybody, you know, has the savings put aside for emergencies like this to take the hit and feel okay with it. Feel like, wow, I'm good just staying at home and not, you know, having any cash flow to take care of my family and all of the responsibilities. So part of like my day yesterday when I was like reading and stuff was like, what can I do to educate myself? You know, I'm an LA girl, born and raised in, you know, Inglewood, like being a Cali girl, like I want to do my research on, you know, the things that affect my family and, you know, my extended family and my close friends and stuff. So for my local people who live here in California, and are being, you know, informed to self-quarantine but have work-related concerns, I've tried to do some research, and I actually found some very helpful information and just wanted to pass it along in hopes that, you know, it could maybe light a light bulb in your head and be like, wow, I was really stressed about that. Maybe I should look into it. So some of the things that I saw were, if you go to, let me find that one second. If you go to labor.ca.gov, they haven't noted that they want to provide guidance for employers and workers in the face of COVID-19. The Labor and Workforce Development Agency wants to protect the workers, employers, co-workers, and families and keep them safe. So what employees are entitled to, and I've been seeing this a lot on my Twitter, a lot of people are like, you know, like it's kind of confusing, like I don't know what I should be asking for. I don't want to go to work because I'm in fear of my life, but I kind of have to. So they're trying to kind of spread awareness and make things a little bit easier to understand through the centralized source. So if you go to that website, you can use the guidance on the site to kind of determine what's best for you, your family, and your workplace. So if you employ people too, you can understand maybe a little bit more on how you should be offering some of these things. The information that they have on paid sick leave, disability, unemployment, paid family leave, and even workplace health and safety, to just be aware of what is safe work practice and what is not in times like these. So I know families are very, very stressed because they feel that they may not have the resources to cover bills, to be able to stay home. And so I encourage you to kind of look into what protects you in the system, checking if you have paid family leave or sick leave, unused vacation days. If your hours have been cut or if you've been let go, you can also exercise the option for filing for unemployment. So definitely something to look into for all of my California-based peeps. I, of course, really hope that eventually something on a greater scale is worked out by the government to protect people across the board, across the nation, with these concerns during these hard times. But I also don't think that you should wait. Don't wait for them to do it. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. So you can already start a plan of action so you feel more comfortable with the actions that you need to take in order to protect yourself. I was seeing that companies like Southern California Edison, who run Energy for Electricity, have also announced to their customers that if you don't have the ability to make your regular timed payments, they will waive the late payment charges, and they are also temporarily suspending disconnections for customers who are unable to pay their bill. So that's amazing. Your lights, your electricity in your home, if you can't afford, if you can't make the payment on time, they're not going to cut your electricity. I know companies like SoCal Gas Company also stated that service disconnects for their customers who are having a hard time paying their bills are temporarily suspended. Meaning if you do receive an automated 48-hour shut-off notice, your gas will not be shut off. Also, amazing. They're offering assistance regarding your bills, so you can literally just make the call. If you're in California but not a customer of these companies, I think you should still do your research and call your own and ask what your options are. You can also just check out their websites to see how they're responding to COVID-19, because I'd imagine that they're responding in ways of a lot of support, like these companies that I mention, because I'm a, SoCal resident, born and raised in California. These are the companies that I know of. So if you are in a different area, I would still call your own and ask about that. I also know a lot of people are grocery shopping. Yes, let's talk about that real quick, because some of these videos that I'm seeing are madness. Wow, 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 wow. There's so many things to keep in mind. I know we all want to have access to the essentials because we want to protect ourselves. But I just want to know if it's not crossed your mind that you might actually be exposing yourself a little bit more. These like super long lines at stores are not practicing the safe distancing rules that we should be applying. We are touching, grabbing things that were most likely, have been touched by others a lot of times. So just be very, very mindful of the risks and exposure that you are, putting yourself in and others. So I think, if you think about it, we could be spiking the numbers even more from the lack of thought during all this panic buying. I know it's really scary. I'm not trying to downplay that part. But it has been emphasized that there's not going to be a shortage of needs. So if we buy in healthy amounts and not extremes, that will definitely be the case. We won't be running out of anything. So yeah. And if you are the type of person that's like, no, I'm going to buy whatever I need and a lot of it, please don't be so selfish. Like, share some goods with the elderly neighbors that you have next door, or, to the people who are at high risk. I think that, would be a very nice thing to do and something that I'm just trying to healthily encourage. So just think about that. The people who are at high risk, I think, are not allowed to like really leave their homes. They're scared. They're really scared too. So if you can share some of your resources, that would be a very nice kind of act to do. I also see some people sharing hacks online, like the idea of buying baby wipes if they're out of toilet paper. But I ask you, is it really fair to take from the babies and the mothers that are also going through this crazy, crazy, crazy time? I don't think that's a very nice thing to do. I like to believe that there are good people in this world. I like to believe that you are a good person, the person that's watching this. We should not be doing things like that. I understand. It's important to have toilet paper in house. But do we need extreme amounts? No, I don't think that's absolutely necessary. So just think about the people that you could be affecting. To kind of piggyback off of keeping others in mind, when we are going to the grocery stores, I saw this online as well, and it really hit home. Close friend of ours posted it, and it was basically about how when we go grocery stores shopping and we're stocking up, to just be mindful and keep an eye out for the WIC symbol next to the prices. If you see the WIC, just know that people who use WIC to feed their kids can't switch to another brand or type of food. And if the stores run out of WIC approved items, those families will definitely be walking away with nothing, basically. And I think, it's important for me to share that because my family was on WIC at one point in our lives, and it, during hard times, was our saving grace. And I think it's just important to be mindful of how that affects others. So, yeah. And if you don't know what WIC is, it's basically a program for low-income families. WIC stands for Women, Infants, and Children. So just keep that in mind for people who are grocery shopping and stuff. Women, infants, and children are the people that you could be affecting when you are stocking up. So, again, I love food. I know how important food is to me. I know I want to have a lot of it, but let's be mindful. Also, my girl Jenica shared, she shared and I also reposted it, the Al Vallarta markets will be open early for seniors 65 and older, pregnant women, and those who are disabled from 7 to 8 a.m. starting today. So, yeah, also keep that in mind. I know I have some family members who are over that age and take so much pride in their independence and want to go outside of the house and be the one to go buy groceries. But now the system and the way things are working right now, it's important that they still get that, but that we do it safely. So I'm so happy to know that the Vallarta supermarkets are doing that. I think there's 4 other markets that are doing that. Cardenas is doing that as well. And then there's like 2 more, I think, yeah. But anyways, just something to keep in mind. I think that's really awesome of the Vallarta supermarkets. They're always stocked up. They got everything that you could possibly need. So just know, if you are disabled, if you are 65 and older, or if you are pregnant, you can go to their supermarkets from 7 to 8 a.m. starting today. I also was thinking about how this was going to affect, I saw, my siblings are doing school from home now. Obviously, homeschooling is a whole new switch up. I know some parents are freaking out because it's a lot to process. It's a lot, too, because some, parents really relied on their kids being at school so they could go to work. I did some research and saw that the Los Angeles Unified School District has also announced that they're going to now have 60 grab-and-go food centers in partnership with Red Cross, which I think is pretty amazing because I know that a lot of families, like myself growing up, you really relied on the breakfast and lunch that these kids would get, Monday through Friday. So they're going to have that available on weekdays from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. So each child would take home 2 meals, just as they would receive if they were in school. So if you are at all in need of that, you can go to lausd.net and see the nearest ones closest to you, so you can have access to all of that. Let's see. And then, this was another thing, because I know my city, Inglewood, has their own district. So that was for the LA Unified School District, but for my peeps in Inglewood, because it is a different district, they have different times. But if you live in Inglewood, the setup is basically, they offer the same support. So Inglewood Unified School District will also continue to provide the meals for all of their students who, need access to food during the temporary closures of school. So they'll be providing their meals also at different locations. I know Oak Street Elementary, the elementary school that I went to in Inglewood, is one of those schools. So if you live by Oak Street and you have kids, or you yourself, you need some food, go to Oak Street Elementary. They're gonna, Monday through Friday have access to all of that. I think the times for that are different than the LA Unified School District. I think it's from 9:45 to 10:45. And then they have a mobile one for take-home meals as well, for 2 other locations. So if you guys need to, you guys can also check that out at the Inglewood School District, Unified School District website, for my Inglewood peeps. But yeah, it's a lot going on, y'all. It's pretty, I just can't even. It's a lot to process. And I feel so depleted of just all kinds of stuff. An energy, inspiration. I have been so stressed, just thinking of not even my situation. I'm so blessed and I'm so lucky. And of course I'm worried for my loved ones, but I'm just so worried for you guys. I'm so worried for the people who don't have access to the right information to be able to protect themselves in times like these. So I felt such a responsibility to get on here and just share the information that I have access to, and also the positivity, good vibes. We need more good vibes. I think it's important that, like I said, we dig deep, we tap into something greater, and that's what's going to get us through these hard times. So, I love you guys, and I'm really, really, really thankful for all of you. And just know that we as artists, people who do music, we are so, oh man, we are so affected by this, because I know for me, I feel such a responsibility to be there for you guys. And I really want to step up to that. So instead of just being like, hey, here's a really cool song, I also want to get on live and like check in with you and like see how you're doing. So, I just want to ask, like, how are you? How are you dealing with this? Like, how is this affecting you? Because it's important. It's important to be heard, Are you reading comments? Yes, now I'm going to read comments. I'm so sorry, guys. I just had all of this stuff that I wanted to share. Stephanie, thank you so much. Yeah, no problem for the update on the information and stuff. Like I said, I know some of that stuff was very specific to California peeps, to LA peeps, but I encourage you guys to do the same, this same research on your downtime when you can. I see a lot of you guys saying that you guys are going through a lot of anxiety and that you guys are just as scared too. I know it's very uncertain where this is all headed. I think we all really want to hope for the best, and I think we should continue to hope for the best. But I also think we should prepare for the worst. At the rate that this is going, like I said earlier, I really encourage you guys to stay home. And I know it's a really hard decision to make for, the ones who, like I said, have a lot of responsibilities to cover, especially the kids, man. I know a lot of kids, they're so used to having a schedule too and going to school, and having, things to keep them entertained. And now it's kind of like, wow, we're all just on a pause. And it's a little scary, but you have to be there for one another. You have to voice how these things are making you feel, So as far as dealing with anxiety, actually one of the things that I learned from my brother Alex, he was diagnosed with autism when he was very young. And one of his favorite things to do, and that we would do together when he would get very overwhelmed, is we would go and we would wash his hands. The water is very soothing. And so if you are in the mood to go wash your hands, because we definitely should be doing that, if you feel like a little overwhelmed, just go to the bathroom, close the door, turn on the water, really try to listen to the water stream, really try to feel the temperature of the water. I've been doing that in the last couple of days, and it's definitely been something that has helped me cope with my anxiety a little bit. I also saw a couple other artists talking about this stuff. Me and my mom watched Miley Cyrus. She's been doing a lot of lives, just like a lot of other artists, because this is our way to speak with you guys, because now we can't tour, we can't come to your city. She did a really cool sit down with a doctor, a therapist that she sees. I think that's what he is. And they were talking about, how to deal with like negative thoughts and anxiety. And I think they use like an acronym like ANTS, automatic negative thoughts. And I thought that was like really like relatable for me. Cause like, I don't know, someone like myself who does deal with anxiety, I do get like those like irritable, like tingly feelings like all throughout my body and my hands and my arms. And it feels sometimes like there's little ants crawling all over you. And those are like the automatic negative thoughts. And we have to learn to turn those triggers off, to stop the ants from taking over. So, that was, I think, really cool. If you guys haven't seen it, you guys should go check it out. I thought it was really dope that she was talking about that kind of stuff. Let's see, what else? you guys are writing so many things. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna try to go to some questions so we can see. Do you have any pets? I do. I have my dog Patron. He's actually here right now. We're just hanging out. Who are you spending quarantine with? With Seba, my boyfriend, my parents, and my siblings. I think times like this, you just want to be close to your family. I know they say it shouldn't be that many people, but I just have a big family, and we basically all live together, so we didn't really have a choice. But I think it's definitely very beautiful that we get to come together in times like this, you know, and we try to sit down as a family to like kind of talk about how this is affecting everyone. I think once I saw, you know, like I saw obviously Italy was on lockdown, China had been on lockdown, Spain had started their lockdown, and I started having like even dreams about all of this, and it was so overwhelming. Like not even in my sleep could I escape the anxiety that this was giving me. Hence why I've kind of like been off of social media a little bit, just because I was really trying to like be mindful of how much I was allowing it to like consume my thoughts and things like that. So yeah, it's crazy times. ¿Tienes TikTok? Sí tengo, y yo creo que vamos a hacer unos hoy para pasar el tiempo. Why not? Let's see, how old are you? I'm 23. Talk about tour. Well, tour is officially on pause until further notice. That's just the truth. I know that there's dates being put on hold for future shows, but the truth is if my health and the health of others is going to be put at risk, I don't want to be one to condone that kind of action of like gathering in massive groups and potentially putting other people at risk. Like I don't know. So as of right now, I'm actually very focused on being creative, but not on the actual working part, just because I want to be a good citizen of the globe, a good global citizen, and do my part, in, you know, being a good example. So that's why I'm here and not doing shows that I was supposed to be doing. And I'm actually, you know, a lot of artists feel the same way. I see a lot of them, you know, also self-quarantine, and I think that it's a really, really great message to be sharing at the moment. Somebody said, do you miss me? I don't even know who you are. I'm sorry. How is Houston? Oh my God, guys, Houston, wow. Honestamente, pensé cuando vi que cancelaron el resto de Houston Rodeo, yo pensé...
Could you try again?
Okay, sorry. Cuando vi que cancelaron el resto de Houston Rodeo, yo pensé, wow, imagínate. Like, what if we didn't get to do our show? We prepped so much for that show, and, like, fortunately, things weren't that crazy at the time. So I still got to do it, and guys, wow. Literalmente fue un sueño. O sea, lloré más. Me sentí como que yo estaba viviendo, no sé, como una película o algo. It was crazy. It was so surreal. It was one of my favorite shows I've ever done. And also, like I said, my biggest show in America to date. So I was really proud of my team, toda mi banda. mis bailarinas, mi DJ, Awesome. Lo disfrutamos mucho, and it was just so cool. It was such a good time. Yeah, I just was like, I don't know, in like such a good place. I did so much to prepare for the show, and especially for my, Selena tribute performance that I put on. I wanted it to be a moment. I felt like Selena, and then Selena at the Houston Rodeo especially, was such a huge inspiration for me growing up. That show, those shows, because she did it a couple times, were groundbreaking for an artist like herself, and to have that many people, it was incredible. It was such a historic moment, and I felt like to, do it in a respectful way with all the love and care was the only way to do it. And that's why, I did it with my band, and I did it not just one song. I was like, we can't just do one song. Are you kidding me? There's so many songs that I want to do. And so I was like, we gotta do the Selena medley, man. We have to do it. And I was so nervous, guys. Like, cuando te digo que cada vez que yo escuchaba las canciones para prepararme para el show, cada vez quería llorar. And I was like, I can't cry on stage. Like, I gotta sing. I gotta dance. I gotta do what I gotta do. So, like, how do I get through the emotional part of it so that I can really be present while it's happening? And it was like magic. It was so cool. And like the content, like I was like, yo, we have to have footage of her like on stage. And like, I really want people to connect, because it's easy when you think of Selena. It's so easy to connect. Like, she was just such an authentic and genuine being, and I think because of that, that's why she's still so present today. And it was just such an honor to be able to, I don't know, step on that stage and perform my own music, and then close the show off with something that means so much to me, and to all of Texas that was there that night. I mean, I saw so many people say, it really felt like Sel was here tonight. And it's like, because she was in all of us, you know what I mean? And I think it's important to remember her that way, and know that, what she represented was so much bigger than just being a good singer. She was a great person. She was a great woman, who had great talent, and, had a great family. And when we look at that, I think you can't help but be inspired. So, yeah, that's pretty dope. Okay. A ver. ¿Cómo estás? Estoy bien. Tranquila, aquí en casa, tratando de pasar el tiempo con buena vibra. Says, what do you think? Do you think in Spanish or English? Okay, veo muchos diciendo, por favor, ya, ¿por qué estás hablando en inglés? Por favor, ya, ¿puedes hablar en español? Mira, toda la información que estaba compartiendo, me sentí más cómoda compartiéndolo en inglés porque es mucha información, y todos saben que el español no es mi primer idioma, entonces I tried to do what I could. Pero lo que está pasando mucho en estos tiempos es que estoy pensando en inglés, hablando en español, pensando en español, hablando en inglés. It's like, es una mezcla de todo y es muy, muy complicado. But yeah, I would say like my thoughts are in Spanglish. I speak Spanglish. Un poquito de español, un poquito de inglés. It's like both. So yeah. Sí, ¿podrías hablar en español? La mayoría somos hispanos. Sí, yo sé. Mira, ahorita estoy hablando en español. Si quieren preguntarme algo en español, por favor, you can put it in the question box. I see a lot of questions in English. Guys, why do you do this to me? It's like I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. It's so overwhelming. Sorry guys, I'm trying to... Somebody like spammed my question box with a bunch of the same thing, so... Thank you guys for all of your nice comments. I think I'm going to get off of live and go do a responding back and forth. I don't know, it just said responding back and forth. How does that? A Q&A on Twitter. So let's take this party to Twitter. I love you guys. I will see you very soon. Also remember, tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Wait, why am I? No, not tomorrow. Friday. Boys Ain't Shit, Say Grace remix with your girl, BG. Stay tuned. I'll be posting more information. Besitos, los amo. Cuídense.